This conference will now be recorded.
Hello guys, good evening all of you. Today we are discussing about cursors. What is a cursor? Cursor is a temporary memory, or we can say it is a pointer to the temporary memory. What is the use of this temporary memory? In this memory, some intermediate operations will be performed based on your query. Based on your select query, some type of operations are performed here. That temporary memory is called as cursor area. Every SQL query internally using cursor area. Each and every SQL query using cursor area. How it is? Let us see. This is the query execution process. Already we discussed query execution process at the time of use. You are writing a SQL query that is passed to Oracle engine. SQL query is executed by SQL statement executor, and it will compile the query. To get the result for this query, it is communicating with Oracle database. In the Oracle database, it will take the data for your query. That data opened in the temporary memory area. Before giving output to the client, the data of the table or view is opened in the temporary memory area, that is called as cursor area. In the cursor area, it will do the intermediate operations and it will display the final output to the client. It is displaying final output to the client. For example, let me explain here. Suppose I want to write a query, select query. Select star from EMP. What is the use of select? Generally, what is the use of select? It will display data from the table. It is useful to display data from table. See, again I am repeating. What is the responsibility of select query? Only it will display data from table. Yes, it is displaying data from table, but it is also displaying one additional information. What is that? These many rows selected, 14 rows selected. Select query responsibility only display data. It is not responsible to count how many number of records are displayed. Then who is giving this count? First point, first question. Who is giving the count? So here in the above output, who is giving row count? Next information, update EMP set salary is equal to salary plus 1000, where job equal to salesman. For all salesmen, I am increasing the salary 1000 rupees. What is the responsibility of? What is the purpose of update command? Only it will make updations or it will make changes in the table. Along with updation, it is giving additional information, 4 rows updated. So in this output, who is giving these many number of records are updated? In the above output, who is giving some number of rows updated? Understand? So to get the answer for this, you need to understand cursor. Listen, you are writing select query. here. That is passed to Oracle engine. From there, it is compiled and executed by SQL statement executor. Records are displayed to client. So here, one of the cursor property, select query responsibility selected, but one of the cursor property, the cursor property name is percent row count. That percent row count is displaying this count. 14 rows are selected. First case. Second case, you are writing update command. So the update command you are writing under client window. From there, query pass it to Oracle engine. From there, query pass it to SQL engine. From there, SQL engine communicating with Oracle database. From the Oracle database, it will open employee data in the cursor area. In the cursor area, it will filter the data according to your condition. First, filter the data. So, satisfied records are here. Unmatched records are deleted from this area. So, here you have salesman data. For all salesmen records, 1000 rupees salary is added. Okay. Once added, here updated. That data is again written onto database. That data is again written onto database. Remember. Okay. Now, so the final result. What is the result it is giving? 4 rows updated. Update command responsibility only update. Who is giving 4 rows are updated? Cursor property row count is giving these many rows are updated. That is the response from cursor property. So any SQL query, whatever the query you are writing, that query internally using some cursor area. Cursor is a temporary memory area, or cursor means a pointer pointing to temporary memory. A pointer pointing to temporary memory is called as a cursor area. The data in the cursor area is called as active data set. So the cursor memory which is used by any SQL query. This is automatic process. Till now we have executed so many queries. All queries are using cursor area. All queries are using cursor area. So this is automatically used by queries. That type of cursor is called as implicit cursor. Implicit cursor. Hold on. Yeah. So what is a cursor? It is a pointer to the temporary memory. What is the use of cursor? It will perform some operations before output to send to client machine. We have two types of cursors, implicit and explicit. What is implicit cursor? A cursor which is used by each SQL query. A cursor which is used by any SQL query, that is called as implicit cursor. And who is assigning this memory? Database engine. Who is cancelling this memory? Database engine again. So assigning the memory and cancelling the memory, it is automatically done by database engine. That's why it is called as implicit cursor. What are the properties of implicit cursor? four properties, either implicit cursor or explicit cursor. It has four properties. Any one, percent is open, percent found, percent not found, percent row count. Again, percent is open, percent found, percent not found, and percent row count. What is percent is open? Listen. And moreover, we are discussing about implicit cursor and talking about implicit cursor properties. Each implicit cursor used by SQL query. So each property beginning with SQL. Now it returns true if you have permission on the table. Suppose you are writing select query. If you have permission to select data from that table, then this cursor property returns true, otherwise false. Suppose if you are writing update command on a table, if you don't have update permission on the table, this property returns false. For your action on the table, it returns false. Next, SQL percent found. So if your update command or delete command or whatever the SQL query, if it finds matched data in the table, this property returns true. Again, if your SQL query find the matched data in the table, then this property returns true. And SQL percent not found. If your SQL query not finding the matched data, then this returns true. So reverse of this is nothing but this. Last one, SQL percent row count. Already I told you. Here we have seen two examples. 4 rows updated, 14 rows selected. How should I? See, this is the property giving that answers. Percent row count, it will count the number of affected records. For your SQL query, how many number of records are affected? It is counting by SQL percent row count. So till now, without having any knowledge, we have used so many SQL queries. Don't worry. SQL queries are using one type of cursor that is called as implicit cursor. It is assigned and cancelled by Oracle engine itself. So we don't worry about the implicit cursor. This is an automatic process internally. Next one is explicit cursor. What is explicit cursor? This is the important point for our session. What is explicit cursor? See, every day we are writing so many programs or procedures. But any procedure or program, through any procedure or program, at a time we can display single record only. At a time we can display only single record. But suppose I am giving some job name, salesman. Is there only one salesman or multiple salesmen? Multiple salesmen are there. Multiple salesmen. So how can I display multiple salesman records? Till now we did not display multiple records from the table through program or procedure. So if you want to display multiple records, through program or procedure, we will use explicit cursor, and this cursor is defined and managed by programmer, which is nothing but user. What is the use of explicit cursor? It is useful to display multiple records by using programmer procedure. So if you want to define and manage explicit cursor, we have 4 steps. First, declare cursor in the declare block. Declare cursor in the declare block. How to declare? Cursor, cursor name is, first select your data into cursor area. First select your data into cursor area. Next, open the cursor. Again I am repeating. Declare cursor. How to declare? Cursor, cursor name is, select your data. What will happen internally? Whatever the data you are selecting here, that data selected into cursor memory. Like here, I am selecting manager data. Where is your manager data? Manager data is saved under cursor memory. Now, in the begin block, open the cursor. We should open it. So how to open? By using the statement open. Open cursor name. This is the example. Open MGR cursor. Next one. Where is your records right now? What is your target? I want to select managers. Where is the manager data? Cursor area. From the cursor area, how can I take manager data? By using fetch statement. Fetch statement. Fetch records from cursor. How to fetch? This is the syntax. Fetch cursor name into variable name. Fetch cursor name into variable name. Then the data will be fetched. How many records fetched? All records fetched or only one record fetched? Only one record is fetched. Let me explain here. This is your program area and this is your cursor area. What is this? Program memory or program buffer. And what is this? Buffer means temporary memory. Cursor buffer. Cursor buffer. See, where is your data? In the cursor area. Like this. Suppose if you have 5 records here. 5 records selected into cursor. How can I get data from cursor? By writing fetch statement. So a fetch cursor, mgr cursor into variable. How many records are fetched? How many records are fetched? For this statement, listen carefully. For this statement, control goes to cursor area. And from cursor, one record is selected into program, that is saved into variable. First record selected. Display that record. Listen, display the record. Remember, display record values. Display record values. Okay, but still we have 4 records. Still we are having 4 records. How to select remaining records? Again you need to write fetch statement. So instead of writing fetch statement again and again, you should keep the fetch statement inside loop. How many times fetch the data until all records are finished. Until all records are finished. Exit this loop whenever nothing found under cursor. mgr cursor percent not found. What is this not found? It is a cursor property. It is a cursor property. Repeat the process until all records are finished. Until all records are finished in the cursor area. So whenever this condition is true, it will stop the fetch. Until that, it will repeat the process. So we need to we need to repeat the fetch statement process until all records are finished from cursor area. Okay, now come to here. So I am writing fetch statement inside loop and execute this. Exit the loop whenever cursor percent not found. If it is true, it will stop the fetch or loop. Next, last step, close the cursor. If you close the cursor, what will happen? The memory occupied by cursor is released. If you close the cursor, then the memory occupied by the cursor is released. So close cursor name. So close is a statement to close the cursor. Open is a statement to open the cursor. Fetch is a statement to fetch data from cursor. Cursor, cursor name is, this is for declaration of cursor. So in this way, we will use explicit cursor to display multiple records. Next one, explicit cursor properties. Just now we discussed implicit cursor properties. Similarly, explicit cursor is also having same properties. Percent is open, percent found, percent not found, percent row count. Same properties. Hold on. Yeah. See, same properties, implicit and explicit cursor properties. Implicit cursor property beginning with SQL keyword. Explicit cursor property beginning with cursor name. Again, implicit cursor property beginning with SQL keyword, whereas explicit cursor property beginning with cursor name. That's all. Remaining everything, meaning is also same. Let me recall again, what is a cursor? Cursor is a temporary memory area. Each and every SQL query internally using some cursor memory. that is called as implicit cursor. Similarly, if you want to display multiple records by using procedure or program, then we must define a cursor. That cursor is called as explicit cursor. Implicit cursor is managing by Oracle engine. Explicit cursor is managing by programmer. How to manage? First, declare cursor like this. Second one, open cursor like this. Third one, fetch data from cursor. And last one, close the cursor. Okay. Now let me go for examples. So what is the first example? See, implicit cursor usage is limited. Why? Because already implicit cursor is managing by Oracle engine. So we don't involve in that. So there is a limited purpose of implicit cursor. But the usage of explicit cursor is huge. So first, based on implicit cursor, I am creating a procedure. Write a procedure to find out number of records affected. How many number of records affected for the following task? What is the task? Increase employee salaries with given percentage under given job category. Increase employee salaries with given percentage under given job category. You are giving job category and also you are giving increment percentage, and you need to increase employee salaries. And finally, I want to display how many number of records affected for your updation. See, create or replace procedure. Procedure is updating employee salaries. Now, it is taking job value under given job category. So it is taking designation of employee and incremental percentage. So increment percentage 10, 25, whatever the increment percentage. Begin, update your table, EMPC. Set salary equal to original salary plus given percent of increment. Suppose if you are giving 10%, 10% of salary. How to get 10% of salary? Increment value into salary by 100 means 10 into salary by 100. Similarly, 20 into salary by 100. So only update this in the given job category. Okay, updated. Suppose assume that updated. If SQL percent found, in case any one record updated, then it is true. If it is true, display updation is successful or successfully completed, and number of employees updated equal to SQL percent row count. In case no record is updated, then this condition is false. The condition was false. If it is false, control is coming into else part, and then it will display updation is failed and number of records updated is equal to 0. End if, end of the procedure. Copy, let me execute it. procedure created. Now execute procedure update for all salesmen. Increase the salary 20%. Updation is successfully completed. Number of employees updated is equal to 4. Next, suppose developer 40% increment. Updation is failed. Number of records updated is equal to 0. Means you don't have any developer in the table. Next one. Now, write a procedure. Next procedure. This is for explicit cursor. Write a procedure to display employee details working under given department number. Suppose I am giving 10 under 10th department, maybe single employee or maybe multiple employees. Maybe single employee, maybe multiple employees. In that case, if you are expecting multiple records, compulsory use explicit cursor. See, create or replace procedure name, and it is taking department number. From that department, you should select employee records. So is first declare cursor EMP cursor is select star from EMP where department number equal to given department number. Okay. Now where is your data? The data is under cursor area. How can I take data from cursor area? By writing fetch statement. If fetch statement executed, then one record selected into program? Yes, it will select one record into program. If a record coming into program, the program has to hold the record? Yes. How to hold? The program will hold the record into a variable. The program will hold the record into variable. So that's why I am declaring a variable. What is the data in the cursor area? Some employee records. If I fetch from cursor one employee record coming into procedure. To hold the employee record, I am declaring a variable as a employee table type record variable. Employee table type record variable. Already we discussed this. %row type. Begin. Open the cursor. Next step for the explicit cursor is open the cursor. First declaration. Next open. Now this is the heading. Details of employees from the given department number. Loop fetch data. Fetch EMP cursor into variable record. First record is selected from cursor and saved into V record. Saved into V record. Exit this loop whenever nothing was found under cursor area. EMP cursor % not found means if all records are fetched then there is no data in cursor. If there is nothing found in the cursor, this property returns true. If it returns true, the loop execution is terminated. And then until this condition becomes true, in the remaining cases, repeat the process. Every time display employee details. Where is your employee data? In this variable. So first time, first employee recorded. We record dot emp and we record dot ename. We record dot salary. Like that, print the employee details. And then control goes to beginning of the loop. It will fetch next record and display. Again, it will fetch next record. So this is repeated until all records are finished in the cursor. And finally, I want to display number of employees selected. That is EMP cursor percent row count. In the cursor area, it will count number of records. After that, close the cursor. End of the procedure. Copy it. Let me start the spool file. Hold on. Mistake and time. No problem. I will change it later. Later I will change it. Now write a procedure to display employee records from given department number. This is your requirement. Let me paste it here. This is the procedure. Now execute the procedure. Execute procedure EMP details under department number 10. Department number 10, under that these are the employees. 3 employees are selected. 1, 2, 3. Suppose if you want to modify, I want to modify like this. After this, just I want to make one underline. Finish. Recompile it. Save it. Exit. Slash. Execute. Procedure EMP details department number 20. So just for this underline, I am using that statement. Suppose if you are giving another department number 30, Then from department number 30, we can see all employee details. Listen, before this procedure, we have written so many procedures. But by using a procedure, only by using a procedure, only we are displaying one record. But now we are able to display multiple records from a table by using explicit cursor. Let me go for another example. You can display any number of records. See here, write a procedure to display employee details from given department name. In the previous case, we are displaying employee records from department number. Here you are giving department name. So create or replace procedure, emp info, variable department name you are giving is cursor, cursor name, select your data. Select star from emp where department number equal to department number of given department name. So subquery you are writing. Select department number from DEPT where D name is equal to given department name. So based on the select query output, the output is placed under cursor. In the cursor, we have some employee records. Each time I will fetch one record into program. The fetched record is saved into this variable. The variable should be employee table type record. Begin, open the cursor, display heading, and repeat the fetch statement. Repeat fetch and display statements. Fetch cursor into variable. Exit this loop whenever nothing was found in the cursor. Until that, fetched record should be displayed like this. And here I am displaying how many number of employees are selected. That is given by the property %row count of this cursor. Then close the cursor, end of the procedure. Not only employee details, you can take any number of records from any number of tables also. Let me copy this. Procedure created. Execute procedure emp info. Here just I'm giving accounting. So, given department name accounting. From that department it is displaying employee details. Employee details. And number of employees selected is 3. Suppose if you are giving research, given department name research and number of records selected is 5. These are the employee details from record. Employee details from which department? Research. Suppose if you are selecting data from multiple tables, if you are selecting data from multiple tables, then the declaration of variable. You are taking record from cursor, right? That record is saved into variable. If it is employee record, declare variable as emp% row type. If you take product records, variable product% row type. If you take customer record, variable customer details% row type. So if you are selecting data from single table into cursor area, then declare the variable as a table type record. No problem. Why? Because we have the data from single table only. In case if you are selecting data from multiple tables, two columns from EMP, two columns from DEPT, two columns from EMP and two columns from DEPT. Assume like this. See, in your cursor area, suppose these are the columns. EMP name, salary, DEPT name, DEPT location. These are the columns in your cursor area. Generally, what is the data? Suppose Ajay, salary 23,000, department name development, location, uh, let us see, Madhapur. This is location. Next employee, Vijay, salary 40,000, department development, location, suppose Gachibowli. These are the records. Listen carefully, guys. This is the data from multiple tables, not from single table. Okay? Okay. This is under which area? Cursor area. If I write fetch statement here, fetch C into variable. Fetch C into variable. If you write the statement like this, then fetch statement fetch one record from cursor. Fetch statement fetch one record from cursor. Okay. If one record fetched from cursor, how many values in that record? First record fetched. How many values in that record? 4 values. So, to store that record, we need to declare 4 variables. For holding employee name, 1 variable. To store salary, second variable. To store department name, third variable. To store location, fourth variable. Actually, 4 variables we need to declare. Instead of declaring 4 variables, I want to declare 1 variable. It should support a record from cursor. So my cursor name is C. What is my cursor name? C. I need a variable to support a record from cursor. So variable record is what type of record? Cursor type record. Cursor% row type. So what type of variable it is? Record type variable. Which record it is supporting? The records are coming from which area? Cursor area. So now, instead of declaring 4 variables, you can declare 1 variable. It will support a record from cursor. It will support a record from cursor. So why should I explain all these things? This is called as cursor type record variable. What is the use of cursor type record variable? This type of record variable means cursor type record variable is able to store one record from cursor. One record from cursor. So don't worry in this record. Don't worry about the columns from single table or multiple tables. Whatever the columns in the cursor area may be from single table columns or multiple table columns. All are supported by this cursor type record variable. Cursor type record variable. How to declare cursor type record? Variable name, cursor name, percent row type. Suppose if you write table name, the variable will support a record from the table. Suppose if you write a cursor name, the variable will support a record from cursor. Maybe the record is with the single table columns or multiple table columns. Here, write a procedure to display the employee details along with department information from given department number. Means you are selecting data from employee table and also department table from the given department number. Input value department number, output is employee data and corresponding department data. So create or replace procedure name, it is taking department number. First select your data into cursor. Cursor C is select employee data and department data based on join condition from the given department number. Now in the cursor area, do you have single table data or multiple table data? Multiple table data. In such a case, declare cursor type record variable. Declare cursor type record variable. Variable name C% row type. Begin. Open the cursor. Display heading. Loop. Fetch data. Fetch C into variable. Display the record. Repeat the fetch. Display the record. Again repeat the fetch. You should repeat this operation until all records are finished from cursor. Let me make them as comment lines. That's all. Save it, exit, and use slash. Execute procedure emp dept details from the given department number 30. In the previous examples, we are getting multiple records from single table. But in this example, we are getting multiple records from multiple tables. This data is from department table. This data is from which table? Employee table. The new concept introduced is declaring. Cursor type record variable. Table type record variable support a record from table. Cursor type record variable support a record from cursor. So this is about explicit cursors. And in this document you have so many examples, and for the present please hold with ref cursor. I am not discussing about the ref cursor right now. Why? Because before discussing ref cursor you must understand argument types. That was not completed. Once I finish argument types, at the same time I will explain about ref cursor. And last point is for loop cursor. Already I explained about for loop cursor. By using for loop also we can display multiple records, but only use this for limited records only. Don't use for loop for unlimited records. It will impact your performance. This is about cursors. Tomorrow we will discuss about functions and packages. So is there any questions from today's session?